Hello, Hans Westman here. We are going to continue with our series of introductions for Blender 3D software, this time taking up how to append additional objects to your scene. So let's get started. The intention here is not to cover different methods of modeling, but how to bring another object which you've created prior in Blender into your scene. As you can see, I have a number of objects in here, and they're sitting inside of this rectangular or box space. So let's click on this box here first and see what it is that we actually have. If I hold down my middle mouse button and I move around, you can see, regardless which position I'm holding here, I can see what's inside, and I can see the walls, which are in the interior, as well as the floor space, as well as the ceiling. So what is this actually? Let's first go to the edit mode. And if we click on this object right here, which we have, you can see that it is comprised of a number of polygons. If I go ahead and click on, let's see what happens if we actually select all of these here. It looks like to me that we have just not all of these selected, and that's because, as we have done before, we need to go to the Z wireframe. And let's try this one more time. Now, Z into the solid. Now you can see that we have everything selected. And what we did is we actually flipped the normals. So if we were to go to Mesh, down to Normals, and flip, you're going to see now that we have a box which is solid. And Control Z so that we don't have to reselect these. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing again, or Control Z would work as well. But just to repeat this, let's just go back to the normals, flip, and you can see here that we have like the object in here. All right. So let's go back again to the object mode. And what we're going to want to do is append an additional object in here. And let's see how we can do that. If we go, first of all, to the file, we should find append right here. You click on append, and right now what I'm going to do is find an object that I can bring in. And the object that I want to bring in is going to be a bottle. Let's go ahead and bring in this bottle right here. So I click on this, I hit append, and you'll see that all of a sudden that I have a bunch of folders, which essentially are not folders that I myself have created, but these folders, which I don't actually understand where they come from. I have seen that there are two primary ones which we need to focus on. The one is Mesh. If we go into Mesh, you can see that we have a cube, or we can go into Object. And here we have Camera, Cube, and Light. And I'm going to use the Object. So if I go into Select the Cube, this cube is actually the bottle, and if I append, then you can see now that this bottle has come into the scene. And now what I can do is position this so it's going to be sitting on top of the table. I'm going to go ahead and hit the Move tool, and I'm going to bring this up, and now I'm going to go to the side view. So if I hit the tilde and go to the left view, then I can see where I have this. Z to the wireframe, and I can bring this up so that it's sitting right about on the table like that. And now what I want to do is actually bring the size of this bottle so that it is in proportion to everything else that's in the scene. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to reposition the point of origin. So let's first of all go to the edit mode and hit the number 1. And what I'm going to do is click on this one right there. And at this point, what I want to do is go to we're going to go to, again, mesh, snap, and we're going to go to cursor to active, which would be the vertice that I've selected. So now we have the 3D cursor there. Next step, we're going to go again to the object mode, and under object, we're going to go to set origin to 3D cursor. So now we're all set where we need to be, and I can go now back to the edit mode by hitting the tab key, Z to solid, and what I'm going to do here is I am going to go ahead and bring this down in X, Y, and Z, not the vertice, but the object mode. We can go to the object mode here. That would be better. And we are going to now bring this down to size right about maybe there. Let's take a look and see what this looks like. W. I can move this around possibly someplace, maybe over here. And then I can rotate this just about like that. So now you can see that we have an additional object that we have now brought into the scene. We can also, for the fun of it, at this point, go to Z and see what happens if we hit the rendered option as opposed to the wireframe and the solid. And now you can see what it looks like with the light, which is in here. So you can see it's starting to look a little bit more like what you expect and what you were out after as far as modeling is concerned. I would be able to, for instance, even move this light up, and you can see that this is also going to make a change here as well. Bring it back. Now we're outside the box because the normal is blocking it. And yeah, this is fun. So, yeah, and that would be that, a short explanation.